Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's a little bit impromptu right now, but things are starting to develop with regards to the US-China trade deal. And according to Lutnick, says that talks are going really well. Hope they end this evening. Now, this live stream tonight, guys, is just to quickly break down what we can expect as we head into the Asian session. If we get any information that the trade deal is solidified and there is agreement in place, then tonight's Asian session is going to be a wild one. NASDAQ is not too far away from its all-time high. S&P is not too far away from its all-time high. We'll more than likely get ourselves a nice little all-time high on the S&P and the NASDAQ if investors like what they have to hear regarding the trade talks. So in this live stream, I'm going to get you guys prepared because tomorrow is the CPI data and it just stinks, man. It stinks. CPI is due to come in tomorrow at 2.5%. That means inflation's going up, ladies and gentlemen. That means interest rates will not be cut, ladies and gentlemen. That means the dollar's going to get smacked, ladies and gentlemen. That means the euro's going to go up, ladies and gentlemen. Investors will be seeking the safety of safe havens and the yen and the gold. Why the fuck is the stock market going up so much? Well, excuse my French, ladies and gentlemen, but that's really what we're dealing with right now. So let's just make sense of it and just get back into the business of the charts, guys. Here we go. So trade hopes before inflation. Again, in inflation data, it's 2.5%, man. And core price is due to come in again. CPI, core CPI, which is the main metric that the Federal Reserve focuses on when it comes to making adjustments to the interest rates. Now, investors' expectation is that they're going to keep interest rates as they are. 4.25, 4.5%, ranges around 4.3%. And this is a problem because earlier on today, the 3-year bond auction narrowly showed a little bit of interest in terms of the bid to cover. So there was demand from foreign investors to buy US debt. Why do you think they've done that? Well, think about it. If the expectation of interest rates in the future are still going to be high, then naturally it means that you're going to park your money in dollars. So investors are going to start picking up yield in the dollar. Problem is, your dollar is so depreciated that they're caught in between strings where they're thinking, hold on a second, why am I going to go over and get myself US debt? What's the point in that? I mean, we've got tariffs. Yeah, the China trade story seems like it's doing really well. But even then, that's going to be a problem. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, because Goldman Sachs says it's not the base case. Recession might be missed. Do you understand that we are in such bizarre times? Factors that could grant the idea of a recession: slowdown in the GDP, the lowest it's been since 2022. It traded negative on the last reading, okay? The unemployment rate still at significant lows, 4.2%. The labor market just static and it's not moving. It's just showing strength on strength each time. You've got a wild president that's just throwing tariffs left, right, and center. Is this a case for doom and gloom? No, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just telling you the facts on what the market is doing right now. Your bonds market slapped. Your dollar is slapped. Euro is up. Yen is up. Gold is trading higher. But there is no cause for a recession. Well, maybe tariffs have been the bluff. That could be the case. In the meantime, we're looking at Bitcoin. It's been a bit of a tricky day today. Just to put out this on setups that I did today for the Platinum members. If you're not a Platinum member, this is the sort of thing that you will get. So check this out. Today, I wanted to see gold move up. We only got a bit of a mediocre move towards the first conservative target of 3,348. Quickly going over to gold, you can see that she did make a little bit of a move higher today. Not really that great, but you don't really expect too much when it comes to CPI. Going into it, the NASDAQ was the star of the show, but look at this. We wanted to see NASDAQ come down to make a move to the upside. And if the Platinum members kept their stops at 21,701, boy, you would have been on a ride to hell and back. Look at this. They came down in the NASDAQ. They came down towards the 21.7 right there, 21,742, and made the reversal. Does anybody know why that happened? What had actually happened was Trump mentioned that talks between US and Iran regarding nuclear stories yeah, it got a little bit aggressive and the market didn't like that. Made the move down, but equally made the recovery back up. And we were looking for that target of the red vector candle to go up towards the highs. And right now, the NASDAQ is trading at the 21,982, so close towards that 22,000. It's not too far away from the all-time high. Speaking of which, Bitcoin. Now, I'm going to get to it, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to understand exactly why all this information is going to help you as we go into the Asian session. Bitcoin today was being a little bit of a pain in the backside. We wanted to see Bitcoin make a move lower today, projected to see Bitcoin come down, and it stayed within the ranges, and then it come down towards the target of the first target of 108,689, and it was to see a move up first to then see the move back down again. But what it's ended up doing is it's come down, swept that liquidity, and then made a reversal from that point. This is consistent with strength to the upside. Now, looking at the order flow, you can see that we've had those bids getting collected. Those bids earlier on, we were talking about the 41 million and all of that stuff. Well, they got cashed out today. They put their planted, they picked up the Bitcoin. But as we go into Asia tonight, you've got a red vector candle right there. You go over to Solana as well. Solana just makes a sweep to the upside. We wanted to see Solana come down. Look what I mean about how marginal the day was. We wanted to see Solana try and come down from this range. Okay, if you just see that chart right there, we ideally wanted to see a target of 155.69. We got the 155. Well, no, we missed it by 156.32. Okay, but then they made the reversal back up. And this thing right here, this red vector candle, is part of the strategy in the hybrid where if they don't recover the vector candles within the Brinks box, there is a strong chance that when it bases out, it's going to make the recovery back up. Now, all of what you're seeing right now in cryptocurrency is designed behind the story with the trade talks. Now, looking at the NASDAQ, it is trading just below that 22K. There is a strong chance tonight that we do hear information regarding the trade talks that are going to send everything higher. So this is what I recommend that you guys be aware of. If you are currently in risk on Bitcoin and or you've decided to go in on the trades right now and say, you know what, I'm happy to take longs right now, just be very careful, because the moment the data comes out and reveals that the trade talks are all good and we're happy, the market will probably do a stop run, which will come to the tone of something like this, where you see a sharp move and then an instant reversal back up. Okay, something similar to what the NASDAQ did earlier on today. But that information about the nuclear talks and Trump saying that, it made the move down, but it equally came straight back up. If you go to the 1 minute time frame, you can see that they didn't spend too much time on that reversal. Okay, so I'd say like what, 1, 2, 3 minutes at the lows before they started to make the sharp movement back up. This is NASDAQ, notorious for those V-shaped reversals. And it's just done it today perfectly to the upside. I took a little trade today myself. It was only a small one. Didn't make too much. Only made, what, $421 because I just didn't have it in me to trade. I was trading around, here it is right there. It's just on a personal live account, just a small balance, about $5,800 right there. And we made $421 after commissions and what have you. But what we ended up doing is I was trading inside of this range right here. I was frustrated with myself because I said, I'm not going to take a trade, but I just wanted to test the waters. And I was just doing some little scalps and what have you. And then I was like, okay, I'm done for the day. And then straight to the downside, caught some momentum. And then I just closed out. And then, of course, it made the reversal. But happy days for that move to the upside. I mean, look at the NASDAQ right now. It is pumping. Naturally, we're going to be expecting the same thing to happen with cryptocurrency going into this evening. Okay, so just quickly putting it into perspective in terms of order flow with Bitcoin, we know that there's a lot of liquidated traders coming into play right now. Lots of people running shorts. They are going to pay the price, especially when you are running longs on the story of a trade deal coming to an end. This is the biggest deal that needs to be finalized next to the euro. The Eurozone is the next one that we've got to prepare for. But this one with China and the US, it factors in too many other companies such as Nvidia, the tech markets and what have you. So it's really important that this deal gives investors what they want, because if they don't get what they want from there, the market might reject these highs. But when you think about it, isn't it typical that they're marking everything up in relation to the CPI? It stinks, doesn't it? It's like they're already getting ready to price in the idea that the CPI data is going to come in bad at 2.5%, and we are going to have high interest rates for a long time. You only need to just go and have a look at the dollar right now, and you can see that dollar is going sideways. They're not doing anything with the dollar. Even the euro itself, you can see the euro's flatline right there. They're waiting for CPI. CPI data tomorrow will nip it in the bud for foreign exchange. Okay. Once we know where we are with the interest rates, that's going to encourage investors and hedge fund managers, money managers, you name it. They are all going to then start saying, okay, shall we put our money into euros? Shall we put our money into gold or hedge ourselves with gold? Shall we take risk off from the dollar and start going into the Japanese yen? That's all going to happen tomorrow for the CPI. So whatever happens this evening, ladies and gentlemen, in regards to trade, there is a strong chance that we're going to see some volatility in the Asian session this evening. My recommendation is that you wait until the Tokyo and the Hong Kong markets fully open. I think that if they are going to release the information and they release it before those markets open, you're going to see quite a bit of volatility. Remember, the futures markets close at 10 p.m. UK time, all right? And then they are closed for 1 hour before they start resuming trading again. It would be typical if they were to reveal that information at that time, because then the market will gap up and you would have missed the opportunity for any big moves. However, if you do get a gap up in the stock market futures going into tonight and they release the information before the markets reopen again at 11 p.m. UK time, which will be roughly around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, then wait until they do something with that gap where they try and close the window. And then, of course, when Tokyo and Hong Kong open, then you can anticipate that there's going to be some interest moving to the upside, only if the deal is finalized this evening. But it looks like that it's going to come to a conclusion and the market is pricing that bad boy in. Okay. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? What's the website for Smart Money, Dumb Money Concepts? Bear with me 2 seconds. The website is called Sentiment Trader, okay? Right here, Sentiment Trader, and it tells you where Smart Money, Dumb Money is coming into play. Don't use it as a indicator, but use it as a measure of where smart money logically is, because on the principle that they sell as prices are rising, because that's what smart money does, it's not yet at an extreme, and I'm waiting for it to hit an extreme before we can then make the assumption that the market is going to go into a corrective phase, okay? If you look historically, every time they do come to these corrective modes, that's when the market then starts to correct. If you look at this high right here, when they hit that zone right there, that's when the market based out, and then it rolled over from that point. As the blue line goes up, it means that they are buying. So that means prices of assets are dropping. They buy as it drops, they sell as it rises. And that's what this chart effectively tells you. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen? Quantitative tightening is necessary. You cannot imagine how much money was released in 2020, 2021. That is very true. They released a lot of money. Okay. Interest rates were zilch, and it was just an unbelievable time. But when they started to aggressively increase the interest rates, that's when it started to get really interesting. Tina, what do you think about Tesla as a stock? Listen, the stock market itself, for me, Tesla, it's very, very volatile for a stock, okay? Prone to just whipsaw price action, prone to whether Elon's going to be at work or not. If he's going to be running in for politics, investors are not liking that. They'll get rid of the stock, and then he's going to come back, and they start going back into it. He falls out with Trump. Stock drops. I mean, it's just, it looks like it's been primed to come down to effectively get ready to go back up. I would expect Tesla and the trade deal story to really put things into perspective. But it's subject to too many influences. The problem with Tesla, it's subject to it. Look at NVIDIA. I mean, NVIDIA is subject to it only on the grounds of trade. But Tesla is subject to too many things. Something can go wrong with Elon. Investors might not like it, and they get rid of the stock. And Elon might say something. His stock might drop. It's very prone to things that it should not be prone to. A stock is a stock. It should be traded, okay? But when you've got fallouts with the president, why are you dropping 20%, man? That's just not reliable, okay? And investors will be fully aware of that, and they might claw back risk. Unless you are an investor of Tesla and you just don't care about it and you're looking for the bigger picture of things, then okay, it doesn't matter, these little moves to the downside, okay? But overall, as a stock, it is fundamentally a good company, in my opinion, to trade it and, of course, invest if you are down with the automotive industry in terms of investments, okay? Quite frankly, for me, it's all about quantum computing. Get into quantum-based stocks. Get into quantum-based stocks. I'm going to say it again. Get into them, do your homework, and just pay attention to those guys. I tell you what, just add them to your watch list. QBTS. There is a plethora of quantum-based companies in the stock market. I strongly recommend that you just pay attention to them. Don't go and buy them yet. Just go and pay attention to what's going on in the quantum space. It's the sleeping dragon that's about to blow some fire up everybody's anyways. You get what I'm trying to say, all right? It's the new tech coming out, man, like with the advancements in AI. How do you not know that all this madness that's happening with AI right now is being primed for quantum computing to just go to the next level? You're going to hear it. You are going to hear it. When altcoin season, listen, when Bitcoin goes up, altcoins go up in my opinion, but Bitcoin dominance has taken a little bit of a tumble to the downside, of course, but I mean, Solana, it's doing really well. It's making a nice move to the upside, of course, on the back of all this information. Ethereum is just doing wonderful. It's making movements up. Dogecoin, it's doing okay relative. BNB, that's doing all right. HBAR, that's also doing very, very well. This nut job is still exactly, I mean, how can you be down nearly 1%? Yeah, this is what I mean. It's not an altcoin. It's a void, okay? This is a void coin. A void coin. Do you like the wordplay? Just sell it so I can buy it. Anyways, here we go. You cannot run AI and quantum. It's not a thing. Well, Eddie, whether it's a thing or not, they said Bitcoin would never go to whatever. I get that. I get that. It's not a thing to do, but there's something that's going to happen. Have you not watched Mission Impossible, The Entity? What is that? I mean, I don't know too deeply what it is, but you know, it's a form of AI. Anyways, I'm not talking about that. As in avoid a coin. Final low 3-4 days later, 999 DMA on ES. We made support there. Okay. Tino, who's your damn barber? Don't worry about him. I've literally just jumped on impromptu, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't done nothing. I've just quickly jumped, put my top on, and let's roll with the party. Any questions? Anything else? I know they're not linked. Yeah, AI and quantum, they're not linked. I know that they're not linked, my friend. I know. Just to generalize the concept, AI, quantum-based computing, you know, it gives people something to start investigating. It's just a heads up, man. Just get involved in quantum. This will dump. What was the news on Trump? The news on Trump was he mentioned about, well, the only thing that's coming into the marketplace, of course, is the story with Meta and the advancements in their investments. It says here that they plan to invest 15 billion in scale AI in bid to catch up with rivals. So there's things happening in the AI space. What is this? Right. Where'd you get your newsfeed from? Live Squawk. Okay. Anything else? Where should we watch the US-China trade talks? It's not a place for you to watch it. It's a case of whether the information gets released and it hits the news wires. Okay. I mean, I've got a Live Squawk. I'm listening in. And of course, they're going to drip feed that information as and when. Either Trump's going to come out and say there's going to be a new deal. Just keep an eye out on Trump in terms of Truth Social. He'll put something out. Like I said, he'll go and he'll be traveling and he'll then speak to news anchors. It's right now. I don't think anyone appreciates that. If we do get a good deal with China and there is progress, the markets are just going to go haywire. They really are, which means there's an opportunity for you to take money out of the marketplace before tomorrow's CPI data. I mean, how likely is the NASDAQ going to clear its all-time high? Especially with the trade talks. It's like it's all been set up to go in that direction just before CPI because interest rates are high. Your dollar is getting smacked. No one's borrowing dollars. They're marginally picking up the bonds markets. I mean, what was the reading today? It was 3.97. What was it? Here we go. Here we are. So the bonds were a little changed after the 3-year note auction was awarded at 3.972 versus the 3.968 when they issued the yield at 1 p.m. New York time bidding deadline. Okay, so it's the highest result since April, but, you know, tomorrow you've got more information coming out. You've got the 10-year bond auction, which is more important as well. We go into it. Here we go. So tomorrow you've got the German bond auction. That's going to be a big key reading tomorrow. Then you've got the pound auction. And then, of course, you've got the US dollar bond auction coming into play tomorrow as well. This one right here will be very interesting. Expecting a 4.34 bid to cover ratio, 2.6 as well. So we just need to see that investors, foreign investors, are picking up bonds on the US, because if they're picking up US bonds, it means that their sentiment towards the nature of the economy in the US is positive, because they're prepared to pick up the debt. Okay. CPI would come in lower like last time. We don't know. What do you think about the latest move on silver? Is it time? Okay, so look, the story with silver, usually, where is it? Where's my, here we go. So look, silver is in a very, very strong trend. It's accumulating. I've got a price projection of silver for $50. My $3,000 projection for gold came through. That was lovely. And if you go back in the live streams from back in the day when gold was $1,800, I was calling that out for you all. $3,000, that's going to get smacked. They've hit that and some. Now Goldman Sachs wants to come out and say 4,500. That's something that could be likely to be the case. Remember, when they cut the interest rates, gold rises. When the US deficit increases, gold rises. Okay, so that's something you got to pay attention to. All right. Anything else? Bitcoin is going nuts. I mean, it is going relatively well. It's making some moves. You could get your all-time high, ladies and gentlemen, because NASDAQ's made the move, but Bitcoin hasn't fully made the move. Let me just quickly go over to Aussie Yen just to see if the carry is coming into play. Carry slow but sure coming into action. Dollar Yen, that's holding out at the highs right now. Pound sterling, let's have a look at that. Yeah, pound sterling's doing relatively okay. Euro yen climbing up, so the carry is on its way. Quickly going over into NVIDIA, second NVIDIA, not really following through with a big move to the upside. Just need to bring up the stock market and understand where we are in terms of volume, because if today the volume does not finish above the 50-day average, then this move to the upside might be a bit of a dunce. There you go, Circle coming down. Be careful with IPOs, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. So NASDAQ, where are we at on the day? Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have got accumulation. Now, if the NASDAQ can stay at its highs. If you look at the top right here, you can see that candlestick right there. I don't even know if you can go into it, but at the top, that's the daily candle right there. It's closed. It's at its highs for the day, and volume down below is above average, and it's higher than yesterday's. And if you just look, I need to do this just so you guys can see it, man, just so you guys understand what I'm talking about with it. So here we go. Just put that there, and then we'll bring it up for you to pay close attention to. Come on, man, don't do this to me. Should have done this in the first place. Let's just do that. Happy days. And just bring that up, and we should be good. Here we go. All right, and here we are. So in front of you. So look, NASDAQ price action is finishing close towards the highs. That's good news, okay? Backing that story with the volume. It's above average. This is what we need. We need volume to be above average to confirm the idea that institutional investors are stepping in, picking up stock. If they're picking up stock, that means there's an expectation of what? It's going up, okay? Smart money is selling into this, all right? But if the masses are going in, remember, smart money doesn't necessarily mean it's just institutional investors and what have you. No, they can also be deemed as retail guys. There can be dumb money there can be dumb money retail investors. There can be dumb money institutional investors. These guys don't move markets. These guys participate in the markets, okay? So if you've got lots of them participating, that is evident with the volume bar right here, trading above the 50-day. That is very important to suggest, yeah, okay, we've got ourselves a nice rally to the upside, okay? So you can back the idea. If you're coming to the charts thinking, should I buy stocks or not? Well, today could be a day for you to do that, and you'll be trading the idea of the trade talks. And if it does work favorably, then you know that in the out-of-hours markets, stocks are going to be going up. Tomorrow it's going to be a gap up, only if they give us the idea that the information on the trade talks is positive and everything is all good on the trade side for Trump, okay? What were you saying, Priest? Anything else? How does alt season work? Does it start while Bitcoin continues to go up or break Bitcoin? Look, listen, I think that altcoin season, Bitcoin season, I don't think we're there anymore. I think if altcoins move up, they move up, right? Do you see anyone in the ETF selling their ETF positions. You've got a supply issue of Bitcoin on exchanges. Do you think they're getting rid of their Bitcoin to go into ADA, to go into XRP, to go into BNB? I mean, some might, but given that the ETF is for the scope for the mum and dad investors and the gateway for institutional investors to come into play and play the game of Bitcoin, I don't think they will do that. I think they will either sell their Bitcoin, go into real estate, go and buy bonds to go take risk on the NASDAQ, or just do something else other than going to pick up altcoins. I think the guys in the altcoin game, now, not to say that there aren't other companies out there that do have portfolios made up of altcoins, but your altcoins right now do carry a lot of market cap. And I think a lot of people are waiting for those crazy price swings with the altcoins, which is very unlikely because of the market cap that's behind it. You'd need to see a significant amount of market cap to go into it. Not to say that cryptocurrency market cap's going to stay dormant at this, between this $3.5 trillion market cap that they've got. But actually, let's just have a look at the market cap for a second on cryptocurrency overall. Here we go. So the total market cap right now, here we go. $3.4 trillion. My expectation is, no, we haven't got anything. My expectation is that we are going to see double that. I do expect cryptocurrency's market cap to go to around $6 trillion. I expect Nvidia's market cap to go to $6 trillion. Now, when will that be the case? Well, it might take a little while, but once we start getting interest rates down and things start to become cheaper, we've had ourselves a recession, we've had a wipeout, everything's reset, stock bond ratio is low, which means stocks are undervalued in comparison to the bonds. That means investors can start going in and picking up discount and start the next rally to the upside. But everything is just going against the narrative where you got all-time highs, high interest rates, no recession, contraction in the GDP for the US dollar, strong labor market, inflation is sticky as hell. What do you want me to say? Hey, G, listen, I'm not, man. Look, let's just have a look at ADA. Okay. It's doing all right, man. It's not bad, you know. Charles, you know, the librarian per se, you know, I'm not talking bad about it. But listen, ADA moves up, Bitcoin moves up, man. So don't worry. If I'm slate talking ADA, it's not because I don't like it. It's just any coin outside of Bitcoin is a meme coin. But ADA's got market cap. So, you know, don't worry. Don't take it personally. If you got XRP, then we'll bring the pain to you. Okay? But ADA, you know, it's XRP's cousin. You can't be mad at the cousin, but you can be mad at the dude. Like, that's how I see it. So no, you know, hard feelings, man. It's just, I mean, it's been $2.30 for how long? When's this gonna change? Like, oh, God's sake, stupid. Hey, Bitcoin. Come on, son. Can we clear the all-time high again? Where are we at with Bitcoin? I mean, maybe not yet, but I mean, it's doing really well, ladies and gents. It is doing very, very well. Right, 200. Listen, this is bang out of order, man. 252 of you have liked the stream. What's going on? 1,300 of you in the live, and no one is liking the stream. Mad love to all the guys who have liked the stream. All 252 of you. If we can get 1,000 likes, that'll be truly appreciated. Very appreciated. Anything else? Come on. What you got for me? Tino, is it logical to think that they might sell into retail at 111 tonight to finish false move? Listen, it doesn't need to be a false move. It's not that it has to be a false move at all. It's just right now you're trading macros. You're trading the logic that there's going to be a deal for China. Investors are piling in. They're seeking yield. They're seeking volatility. That's the problem with this marketplace, okay? They just quickly fast in, fast out, all right? We need stability. If they're not buying the US bonds, tells you that their long-term perspective on where they think the markets are going to be, it's very short-term. That's why you're seeing the yields of the 2-year and the 3-year bonds. They're fluctuating, but there's more participation in shorter-term dated securities rather than long-term dated securities. And that tells you where investors' heads are at in regards to their expectation of the economy. That's why we pay close attention to the yields if the 2-year and the 10-year start to invert. Let me explain. Just go over to the 2-year and have a look at this. You earn 4.01% on the 2-year. Go over to the 10-year, you get 4.47%. Right now, there is no yield inversion, which means that you don't earn more on a shorter term yield. Okay, so if the 2-year yield right now was 4.4 and the 10-year yield was at 4.3, you've got yield inversion, which means investors aren't going to put their money in a 10-year bond and be like, what's the point in that? I'll go to the 2-year where I earn more. How do you earn more over shorter periods of time? And that just tells you investors' expectation of the future ain't great. So they'd rather put their money in now and take it out as quick. Okay, that's what we're looking for. But because we don't have that inversion in the yields, it's all good. I mean, if you go over to the 30-year, you can see the 30-year is above the 10-year. The longer you hold it, the more money you're going to earn. It's just when you start seeing longer term securities providing less yield than shorter term, you've got yield inversion, which over the last 70 years, historically has given us the idea that a recession is coming. But remember, recessions are, you've got to factor it in the future. Take about 6 to 12 months for it to come into play. All right? So that's the story. Big sell the news event. You think it's a big sell the news event? I don't think it is. Because if we do get it, listen, if the trade deal comes into play, right? What I think is going to happen is and tomorrow, listen, if tomorrow's CPI data comes in and it's lower than 2.5%, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be experiencing the wildest bull run, because tomorrow, if the CPI data comes in lower, then market participants will price in the idea of the future looking wonderful, and they'll do it all over a few days. They will price it in, because they'll know that the interest rates will get cut because inflation's come down. Even though they're expecting CPI to come in at 0.3%, it could even come in tomorrow at 0.4. If this comes in higher than what it is, ladies and gentlemen, we got problems, man, which is why I'm saying to you, just make sure that you're taking something off the table. Even though I'm saying that institutional investors are actually picking up stock based off the way the volume is coming into play, this is a macro-driven move. So tomorrow we need to get the information from the macros to back the idea that investors will want to pile into the marketplace. And that's going to be done with the inflation data. Okay. Do you think Powell is a G? Of course he is, man. What are you talking about? It's kind of surprised that the VIX is so low. It's true. The market really doesn't just climb the wall of worry. Look, the volatility index shows complacency in the marketplace. Look at it. It's at 19. By principle, you want to be preparing yourself for shorts based off this chart. Why? Because the market's complacent. Dumb money's excited. Can we back that up? Of course we can. Look where dumb money is. It's about to cross over the peak. Smart money's not there yet, so we still got a little bit more flavor to the upside. We need to clear the all-time highs again. That's what we need to do. But investors are complacent. And if this thing right here starts to base out, starts to climb, that's when you start paying attention to it. Gets above 30, you pay attention and buy everything you can. But what event could lead that? Trade talk breakdown. I think the Eurozone is going to be the one that really messes everything up. You think it's China? Well, it's actually the Eurozone, because the yen, the euro, it's become a safe haven now, and it's cheaper to borrow. So whatever countermeasures they're going to put in store, it's going to be harder for the US because their dollar is still so depleted and their interest rates are so high. So even if Trump does put tariffs on the euro investors are going to be like, shut up, man. Look, I'm just going to go and borrow euros. Doesn't matter whatever tariff you're going to put, because even if we do transact in your dollars are really low anyway. So we're not interested. We're just going to stick with our euros. It's a safe haven anyway. So all the boys that you are trying to get to buy your US debt, they ain't going to be buying your debt. They're going to be coming over to buy it from us, because yeah, we do offer lower yields, but your dollar is dog. So, and it's a safe haven now. So yeah, go stick that. And we pay better on our yields as well, because we manage our debt pretty effectively. And we're spending more money in defense as well. So go figure. That's literally what's going on, you know. Where are we at with the likes? 481. That's poor effort, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joking. For those of you that are new and you've just passed through, just make your way over to tradersreality.com, because on the homepage, there's a free PDF. I urge you to just check it out, because it helps you understand the hybrid system, which makes sense of all these beautiful candlesticks and the psychology behind it, and understanding the order flow. And Look at all of this. Who's selling? Right, who's selling? Right, 4, 1s, 3s, 2s, 4s, 14 million at the, there you go, just came in, 8 hours ago that was in. So 110,750, 14 million, nearly $15 million worth of Bitcoin to be sold. And you've got a lovely red vector candle in the 5-hour time frame. That could be some interest. ETH to 3,500 tomorrow. Let's have a look. ETH to 3,500. Is it possible that ETH can go to 3,500? That is a little bit of a wild move to the upside, but nonetheless, if we do look at it from this perspective, we can see from the current price point to 3,500. I mean, it's a 24% move to the upside. Do I think ETH could do that? In terms of volatility, there is a good chance it could clear at least half of that. I mean, a 10% move in ETH could be valid, but it all depends on the market. It really does. And CPI data will actually cheese everybody off. But Ethereum is coming out of a very, very, very strong consolidation period. So, and it's spent near enough 2 weeks inside of this range so far, 2 weeks plus. So it's going to be a very interesting one with Ethereum, guys. It's going to be very interesting. Do you think that they can schedule more meetings to follow days and the result slight crash? Well, it all depends. If the actual meeting tonight breaks down and it says that everything's going well and they hope to come to a conclusion, I think they need it to happen. The market needs it because Trump's going to look at the stock market and be like, well, look at that. Stock market is going up. Everything's all good. Why is Powell not cutting the rates? Just CPI tomorrow is going to nip it in the bud and let us know exactly where we are for the next month. So that's going to really tell us if we're going to have a nice little bull run over the next month or so, in my honest opinion. Tina, how likely is it that Trump will come and say that the trade deal is not going well? It's very unlikely he's going to turn around and say it's not going well, but he will say if it's going well and he will say it's not going well. He said earlier on that talks with Iran were aggressive. The market reacted. NASDAQ slumped. Okay? But they priced it in. That's what I mean about pricing in. They price that moment in and then they just bring it back up again. Efficiencies in the marketplace, they have to bring it back up. Any other questions? If you are new and you have subscribed, press 1. If you are new and you haven't subscribed, get out. Sorry, I'm joking. Just subscribe. What will happen with ETH? I said, I honestly think that they have this little ad hoc meeting as a front to reassure the market. Most definitely. But just look at your bonds. Is it sell America? Well, it looks like it isn't just yet, but they're fractionally picking up yield. So 3.972 versus 3.968. That's not really that great, but it's more than what it was before. Well, other than that, ladies and gentlemen, well, hold on. Robo Taboo, you mentioned hybrid system can be used for trading stocks. I wonder if the Brinksbox strategy is applicable to stocks as prices create gaps and on open and Brinksbox is then more than overextended. Listen, when it comes to trading cryptocurrency or even the stock market, the basis of the hybrid system is on Forex, okay? And when you marry the story of Forex and the fundamentals, it helps you understand why they're going to come back to inefficiencies or imbalances, okay? But when it comes to stocks, Tesla, look at these gaps. They respect these gaps, okay? These vector candles are exhaustions. They are absorptions. They are picking up bids. The one, I'm going to say this to you right now, NASDAQ, S&P, any stock out there is very subject to bid and ask order flow, right? If they've been hitting the bids aggressively, bid means passive orders are being picked up. They're buying. Passive buyers, okay? Because you can't sell. Because aggressive sellers come in and like they're moving markets. I want to sell. Well, who are they selling to? They're not selling to the guys that are selling. Because this guy who's selling, he's like, oh, I don't want that. Move. I don't want that. I'm trying to get rid of it myself. Why am I gonna buy your sell order? Doesn't make sense if I'm a seller. But as a buyer, I'm looking at this landmine of just all these orders are coming to me and I missed the bid, okay, with a limit order. I'm looking at like, look at that. I've got a bid here for 5 million. Oh, it's coming down. Yeah, man, here we go. I'll take that. Thank you very much. Bid 1 picked up. And it keeps on going down. And all the dudes down below are doing exactly the same thing. They're catching rocks. You call it falling knives. They're getting ready to catch the baby. Once they've caught the baby, then the price then starts to stabilize. And then they're like, all right, we've got this baby right now and it's crying away. You know what? We need to get rid of this baby. We need to start dishing it out. And there you go. And they'll throw the baby up. And that's when the offers come into play. And then the offers are all standing there and they're like, yo, give me the baby. Give me the baby. I'll take that. And then the guys who are like, oh my God, it's going up. Well, we better start buying and start climbing the ladder for the ask and the offers. And then that's how prices go up. NASDAQ, S&P, all stocks are subject. They are very prone to this relationship with the concentration of bids and the concentration of offers, okay? When it comes to cryptocurrency and Forex, fundamentally, we know where cryptocurrency is in terms of volume, but we know it's affected by open interest and leverage trading. So we don't really get the true figures of who's buying, who's selling, especially in Forex, okay? Because it's the OTC market. You're effectively trading the spot market with Forex. You have no idea who's doing what, okay? So, hold on. We got any news? No news just yet. So, yeah, I hope that makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's a little bit of a crazy way to put it, but in your mind, when you're witnessing price taking a nosedive to the downside, just think about the guy who's there getting ready to catch the bricks, to get ready to catch the rocks, and get ready to throw the baby out. Capiche? Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that makes sense. Be sure to like and subscribe on the way out. Go check out tradersreality.com for more information on the hybrid system. Be mindful of Asia tonight. Platinum members, I'm going to get a video out to you to prepare you for Asia this evening. All right? Take care of yourselves, gang. Mad love and respect. Peace.